Welcome to Damsels Not in Distress Book Talk. Zainab Malik, Xiomara Batista, and Otoro Miyuko. 3 fierce females who are anything but damsels in distress. What do they have in common? Anger, passion, bravery. These fierce females aren't going to sit around waiting to be saved. Why would they, when they have the power to set things right and the courage to use it? If you're looking for fierce female stories, strong women stories, damsels not in distress stories, then I have 3 great contemporary young adult novels for you to check out. First, Love from A to Z by S.K. Ali. The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. And 1,000 Steps Into Night by Tracy Chee. 3 very different stories with one thing in common. They are all led by fierce female characters. Zainab Malik is 16 years old. She attends high school in Springdale. She's in Mr. Fencer's social science class. Mr. Fencer hates Muslims. Zainab is Muslim. You'll find Zainab in S.K. Ali's contemporary young adult novel, Love from A to Z. Zainab is constantly having to defend her beliefs and way of life in Mr. Fencer's class, and she's unafraid to stand up to him. But it's not just Fencer. It's strangers on an airplane who treat her as a threat. It's the gym patrons who want to dictate what kind of swimsuit she wears. It's the weight and wear of every slight and funny stare she must endure on a daily basis. Zainab is constantly on the defense and always angry, which means she doesn't take any nonsense, but usually she doesn't react in the most effective way either. But she doesn't back down, even when a misunderstanding gets her suspended from school. And with the help of those she loves, Zainab begins to learn that there are more effective ways to battle the injustices she faces. If you have ever experienced any kind of ill treatment based on how you dress or how you look or where you're from, you'll be able to relate. And if you haven't been on the receiving end of others' prejudices, Love from A to Z will be very insightful. Oh, and to quote the book, this is a love story. You've been warned. And yes, there's a really cute boy about whom the book is half about, and a great love story. But it doesn't take away from Zainab's fierce female attitude, and he's not there to save the day. Love from A to Z is a great story about the power of being your true self, as well as the power of being willing to listen and learn. You can find S.K. Ali's Love from A to Z in print or ebook through the Lee County Library. Xiomara Batista has curves, verse, and an overbearing mother. She wants to start dating. She wants to participate in poetry slams. She does not want to go to mass. And she is so very tired of everyone around her telling her who they want her to be. Elizabeth Acevedo explores what it means to be a teen girl who's too young to be sexualized by men, but is, and too old to be denied the freedom to explore who she is in this powerful young adult novel written in verse, The Poet X. As you can see, the story is written in a series of poems. This makes the novel a fairly quick read, but it's also extremely powerful, since writing in verse means every word written must count. As a young woman with a grown-up body, Xiomara has learned to confront unwanted advances and catcalls. She knows how to defend herself both with words and actions. She also has to stand up for Twin, her brother who has never been able to fight for himself. But it's her mom who holds her back so oppressively, and Xiomara doesn't know how to fight back. She thinks she can sneak around with a new boyfriend and skip confirmation classes to perform her poetry and not get caught. But she does get caught eventually. Will Siamata finally figure out how to use her fierce voice and confront her mother? If you want to feel empowered and emboldened, The Poet X is the book for you. Siamata doesn't apologize for her fierceness and will inspire you to lean into your own fierce voice. You can find The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo in print, ebook, or audiobook format at the Lee County Library. Miyuko is loud, where girls are supposed to be demure. She is clumsy, where girls are supposed to be graceful. And she is defiant, where she ought to be submissive. Her entire village wants Miyuko to be small, less than. But it's going to take all of her less than desirable qualities for the fight she is about to face. In Tracy Chee's epic fantasy, 1,000 Steps into Night, gods, monsters, and humans coexist, and expectation versus desire is explored. This novel is for fantasy lovers, mythology lovers, and anyone who loves a cheeky sidekick. Let's see. There are the village priests who don't approve of Miyuko, the demon prince who wants to control Miyuko, and Miyuko herself. Well, not really herself, but the demon who has possessed her. Miyuko must stand up to the power growing inside of her before she is lost forever to the death woman demon, while saving her father, her village, and the prince with the help of a bird. This Japanese-influenced fantasy is full of amazing imagery, gripping storytelling, and one really fearless damsel determined to save herself. And in the process, learn that just because everyone around you is resolved to hold you to a small life, doesn't mean a small life is meant for you. 1,000 Steps into Night is all about discovering your true identity. It's about being yourself and being okay with being yourself, even when everyone around you doesn't approve. In fact, Chi's dedication reads, "For the awkward, the different, the brave." You can find 1,000 Steps into Night by Tracy Chi at the Wake County Public Library. See what I mean? Damsels, not in distress. These 3 young adult novels feature some of the fiercest female characters in literature. Knight in shining armor not included or needed. They are tough, unapologetic, unique, and inspiring. Whether they are fighting racism or sexism or demons, whether they're at home or in distant lands, Zainab, Siamata, and Miyuko define female strength. So be sure to check out Love from A to Z by S.K. Ali, The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo, and 1,000 Steps into Night by Tracy Chi. And let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts.